Hi everyone, my name is Monique.
And I'm Naveen from Before You Play.
And today we have a Kickstarter preview for you for a game called Mining Colony.
Yeah, this one is designed by Steve Finn, published by Dr. Finn's Games, and it plays 1 to 4 players in about 40 minutes.
Yes. Now, if you're not familiar with Dr. Finn's Games, they're known for Biblios. Biblios is probably one of the more popular titles. But
I love
they
that
have,
one. Yeah.
Oh, you do love it.
I love that one, yeah.
But they also have a variety of other titles that are all, small box games that take really quick to play and are pretty thinky and fun.
Yeah, they're always pretty interesting.
Yeah. So this title is coming to Kickstarter next month. We don't have a link for it yet, but it's going to be a part of a 4-game campaign. So I'm going to include the title of the campaign in the description, as well as a link to Dr. Finn's website. So you can kind of keep track of updates through there as well. And because this is a preview, all the components in this game is a prototype, technically, although it does seem like a majority of it is as close to finalized as possible. But because of that, we do kindly ask that you turn on your Klingon subtitles, just in case we make any rules mistakes, so we can change them in the future. And as per usual with these previews, we're not going to play the whole game. We are going to teach you how to play the game and play a couple rounds, just so you have a kind of a feel of how the game plays. But otherwise, we're going to get started. Now, if you'd please direct your attention to the center of the table, we have what looks like Mars.
Looks like it.
It looks like it, but it's technically not necessarily. This is supposed to be a friendly nearby planet that we have landed upon to try to take some resources because our planet is not doing so well. And so just to kind of go over some of the components, we each have our own player boards, and this is kind of like our part of the planet that we have landed on. The player boards are actually double-sided, so there's a different side there, but all players must play with the same side. So this is the standard side that we're going to be showing. We also have the main game board that houses these development tiles, as well as some resource cards. We each have our own excavation cards in our player color. So I'm blue and Naveen is red. And we also have a variety of resources. We have ships and people. We have structures that we're going to be building, some overbuild tiles, crystals, and credits. It all makes sense as we teach you how to play the game. So the theme of this game, which we slightly alluded to in the beginning, is that our home planet is not doing too hot. We're running out of resources. We need to go to another planet to excavate and find more resources. The game is played over 10 rounds. And by the end of the 10th round, we're going to have a variety of tiles on our board, as well as these resources like crystals and people and ships. And at the end of the game, everything we have on our board is going to score us points. Any spaces on our board that we did not fill is going to lose us points. So we are going to show you how it plays. And as we teach the game, we're going to be playing it as well. We're going to play maybe 2 rounds or so.
Couple rounds, yep.
So, like I said, the game is played over 10 rounds. Each round consists of 3 phases. The very first phase is the Discover phase. This is where we're going to flip over the top resource card. And if you can see the resource card here, it's divided into 4 different sections. These sections correspond to the game board, and this is what we have to, these are the resources that we have to fill in for the round. So you only fill in the number of spots equal to however many players are playing. So in this case, we're playing as 2 players, so we're only going to fill in these 2.
So white,
So
gold,
it's a white and a yellow crystal, a size 2 polyomino tile. For the bottom here, we have a purple and a green crystal, a size 1, which is technically a square, and a blue ship. There you go.
Had this been a 3-player game, this would have been added, or a 4-player game, this also would have been added.
Exactly. And that is it for that phase. We are filling in the game board with the resources that we are now going to draft as players, or discover as players. Yes. Or excavate? Maybe
excavate, maybe, yeah.
Speaking of excavating, that is the second phase. So, with our excavation cards. Now, each player has their own excavation cards. They range in number. I think it might go up to 50 or so.
I think it goes up to 50, yeah. My highest number is 47.
My highest number looks like it's 48. Yes. And so, everybody's deck has a different variety of these numbers. And so what you're going to do is you're going to shuffle them, and then you're going to deal out the top 3 cards from your deck.
Okay.
And from those 3 cards, you're going to secretly choose 1. And this is going to determine our priority order in selecting these resources. So
the higher the number gets the first pick.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just going to choose this card. I'm going to put it face down. And the other 2 that you do not select go to the bottom of the deck. So each player has 12 of these cards. Each round, you're going to be playing 1. So by the very end of the game, you're going to have 2 of them left over. And then you're going to do something with those last 2 cards in order to determine a little bit more scoring. So we'll get to that when we get there.
Okay. So
Ready to reveal?
Card, yep. 1,
So
2, 3.
flip. I chose 25.
Okay, I chose 7.
Naveen chose 7. So
Naveen gets first pick.
I get first pick in choosing one of these bins to take all of the resources from. So, it's the beginning of the game. I probably want to get as much stuff as possible. So I'm going to take this bin right here.
Okay.
And Naveen gets the top bin.
I get left with this.
And then now we go into the development phase, which is basically taking all the stuff that we just collected and either putting it on your board or discarding them for credits. The way that placement works is tiles, development tiles, must be placed, if it's your first one, it's got to be placed next to one of these starting tiles. And so these, you know that these are starting tiles because they're kind of like a darker orange, similar to the color of the actual development tiles. Mm-hmm. So these tiles are already considered covered, so you're not allowed to place them over these. They must go adjacent to one of the starting tiles. And then starting with the next tile onward, it has to be either adjacent to a starting space or orthogonally adjacent to a tile that you already played.
Yep.
So I am going to place this, I'm going to place this here.
Okay. All right.
Did you want to place your tile as well?
I'm going to place mine right over here.
And this is all done simultaneously, but we're just kind of going,
through the motions, yeah.
Through the motions together. And so with the rest of the items, these items must be placed on specific icons on your board. So the 3 main icons that you're going to see are these 3 that are actually up here in your landings, in your staging area, which is what it's called. From the far left, we have here is the dome. Workers, which are the people shapes, go in domes. So neither of us took any workers, so we're not going to put any of them out right now. And I actually took a dome here, so it's not going to get filled. Crystals go on storage units. And so this is what a storage unit looks like. If you see like a rainbow colored storage unit, then any colored crystal goes there. However, if you have a storage unit that shows a specific color, then only that color of crystal can go there. And so I took a purple and a green crystal. I would probably put, maybe I'll put the purple one down here, and I can put the green one down here on this bottom right hand corner, or I can store 1 item each in the staging area to be placed on my board at a later time. Right. So if you put any items in your staging area, they're not considered a part of your board. So if you have any of those left over at the end of the game, they don't score you anything. Right. But it's a good way of just kind of holding on to something before making that final decision.
Yeah, not making a commitment.
The commitment,
because once this is here, it stays there.
It stays, yeah. And to be clear, the point of this game is we're going to be filling up our boards, and anything that you put on, any resources that you put on your board are going to score you points. So right now, this crystal is going to earn me a point at the end of the game.
At least 1 point. Yep, exactly.
Yes. So I'm going to put my green crystal here in my staging area.
I'm going to put my white crystal here, and I will put my yellow here.
Nice. And then the last symbol is this landing pad. And so landing pads hold ships. And this is not color dependent. The only thing that's color dependent are the storage units for the crystals. So my ship can go either on this landing pad or in my staging area. And I think I'm going to put it in my staging area for now. But I do have this landing pad here if I wanted to put it there. If you either did not want to take a resource or you could not legally place a resource that you took, you can discard them each for 1 of these credits. Now you're going to score 1 point at the end of the game for every 2 of these that you do not spend, but what they're used for is you can spend 1 of them to take an overbuild tile, which is this. And so these overbuild tiles go over a developed space that can have an icon on it or maybe not an icon. As long as there are no resources on it yet, you can overbuild, and they just change the symbol. The other thing that credits are useful for is at the start of the round, you can spend 1 credit to take the 3 cards, the 3 excavation cards that you had drawn, back at the bottom of your deck to draw 3 more. Mm-hmm. So if you didn't like that first draw and you really need, something on the game board, then you can spend a credit to do that. After all players have finished building, then you actually discard your excavation cards so that we cannot card count. Yep. And then we begin a new round. There's one last thing we didn't discuss, which are building of these structures. But let's start a second round. So we begin the second round, just like we did earlier, by flipping over this resource card. And we are going to fill in these 2 spaces. Looks like a gold crystal and a 1. This is a green crystal.
Green crystal.
A size 4. And we have a blue worker and a black ship. Wow. One is definitely more lucrative than the other. So that was it. Now we're going to pull our excavation cards, the top 3. So So you don't shuffle them anymore.
No,
You just
yeah.
pull the top 3. And all right, I have chosen my card. The other 2 go at the bottom of the deck.
Okay, I will pick this one.
Perfect.
Ready?
Yep, set, reveal.
Okay. 18.
18 to 48.
I knew I couldn't beat you on that. So, okay.
So I get to go first again.
Okay.
And I'm going to take this bin down here.
Very nice. Okay.
To do that one.
I am left with this right here.
All right. So this is the perfect time to discuss the last rule that we haven't gone over yet, which is the building of structures. I'm going to first place my square development tile. I'm going to put it right here, just like that, which is going to be perfect for me. And then I have this green crystal, which I guess I'll just put right there, leaving my other green crystal.
Yeah, if you can't see that, that's a green little storage facility.
Yes, this is a storage unit specific to green. So I'm going to put that right there. And then now I have this, the black ship and a blue worker. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to build a structure. So there are 2 main structures that we can build. There are outposts that look like this, and then there are these science structures that look like this. There are 3 colors of outposts. It's a blue, black, and red, just like the ships and workers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the science structures have to do with the crystals, so there is 1 for each color.
Yep.
You play with 1 fewer than the number of players per color and structure. So in this game, we're doing 1 of each, basically,
right.
And it's whoever builds it first gets it. And so the way that you build them is, starting with the outposts. Outposts are built if you have a worker and a ship built on 2 spaces with exactly 1 empty space in between the 2. So in this example, I have just built an outpost because I have my worker here and my ship here, and I have an empty space in between the 2.
And that empty space, it can't just be an empty space on your board. It must be with a tile.
Yes, it has to be a developed space that is empty of resources and
wide open. And it can't be a building in there.
Yeah, and also empty of a building symbol. I built my outpost. I'm going to put it here. And now nobody else can build a blue outpost for the rest of the game. And at the end of the game, it's going to score me 2 points. So these special structures are just worth twice the amount of points as the normal resources that you would get.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is how that works for the other 2 outposts as well. The only difference is that for the black outpost, you want the 2 black pieces. Mm-hmm. And then for the red, you want them both to be red.
Yep. Okay, and on my turn, I'm actually going to show you how to build the other type of building because I'm able to do it. What I have here is a gold crystal and a dome. For what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to spend this dome or get rid of it as a resource that I don't want to take a credit. And I'll just keep that credit right over here. And we also didn't mention that when you discard the development tiles to take credits, you get 1 credit per square that it occupies. Yes.
So because that is a 1x1, it's just 1 credit.
1 credit,
yeah.
Exactly, yep. And so at the end of my turn, I can hold a maximum of 5 credits. And what these credits do is, like Monique said, they allow you to go through your deck. But also what I can do is I can do an overbuild. And so I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to spend this to take one of these overbuild shits here. And I'm going to go ahead and take this one right here. And I'm going to be building a science station. So I'm going to put this one right over here. I put a storage unit there. And that storage unit is a wild, so it can hold my gold crystal. And just like how Monique's was, where it was like-type spaceship with like-type person, it built this building here. Same thing happens with the science. If I have a like-type crystal with the other one with a 1 gap space that's developed, I then build that particular science station. So this is going to get me 2 points at the end of the game, and that's going to go there. And there's only one of those in a 2-player game for that color.
So now I can no longer build the yellow science station.
Yep.
So science stations are 2 crystals of the same color with 1 space in between, and outposts are the worker and ship with 1 space in between. And that's pretty much it. Then we discard our excavation card. And so we play this out for 10 full rounds. At the end of the 10th round, our boards will probably look something like this. So this is actually an image from a game that we did play. And so the scoring parameters is, like we mentioned, these structures, the special structures are worth 2 points each. And all the other resources, which are the ships, the workers, and crystals, are worth 1 point each, as long as they're on your board and not in your staging area. You get 1 point for every 2 credits that you did not use. And also, you get points for your last 2 leftover excavation cards. So like I mentioned earlier, you have 12 of these. You use up 10 of them, so 2 of them will be left over. And so at the very end of the game, each player is going to add up the values of the cards in their hand. And whoever has the higher sum is going to get 6 points. And then whoever got second most is 3 points, and third most is 1 point. So that is another thing to consider when you're choosing these excavation cards in the second phase. And lastly, it's -1 point for every tile that you did not develop. And whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. So that is the entire game. So, as you can see, it still follows that same kind of Dr. Finn game magic, where it's just like a really quick, but still like good thinky decision making.
So that's pretty much it. That's how the game is played. This game is going to be coming to Kickstarter next month, so keep an eye out for it. We're going to link to the website of the designer, but we will also try to add in the link to the Kickstarter when it does get released.
If you have any questions, feel free to post down in the comments below. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching.
Thanks.
Bye.